county's battle against the coronavirus. Today, we learned San Diego will stay in the state's red tier for now. As ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco shows us, now there's a new metric the county has to meet before more businesses can reopen.
A long line of cars wrapped through the parking lot of the South Chula Vista Library. The county's new COVID-19 drive-up testing site is the latest attempt to fight the virus in the hard-hit South Bay.
About 34% of our county population is Latino, but about 66% of the cases. And so we saw that early on.
The county now has another criteria to meet before more businesses can reopen. It's called California's new health equity metric. State health officials say the goal is to reduce high infection rates in disadvantaged communities.
So it's not just the test positivity. That's the piece that helps counties either move forward or slows them down in moving through the tier system. But we're working with counties on a broader strategy to focus on equity.
The new metric affects counties with more than 106,000 people. They'll be divided into 4 regions based on income, education, and other information from the census. The test positivity rate within the lowest section must not significantly lag behind its overall county test positivity rate.
If our communities of color are still seeing a disproportionate impact from COVID-19, then it is something that should affect the entire region.
Some fear this will be another hurdle to reopening. County Supervisor Jim Desmond says if the governor wants to help poor communities, let them go back to work.
I think it's really ironic the fact the governor keeps their businesses and those lower income folks out of jobs, and now he wants a metric to make sure we're taking care of them. We will take care of anybody that has the virus.
State health officials say the new metric can't push a county back into a stricter tier, but can slow it down from moving forward. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
More than half of the county's testing sites are now in the South Bay. California is the first state to require an equity metric. Today, there are 161 new cases of COVID-19 in the county, none coming from SDSU, and that brings the total to 48,821. 3 new deaths were reported, the death toll now 806. New at 4 o'clock, the player who used a homophobic slur against a member of the San Diego Loyal was suspended. This was the heated confrontation between the coaches shortly after the incident happened last week. The Loyal walked off the field after Phoenix Rising FC player Junior Flemings used the slur against San Diego player Colin Martin. The league is suspending Flemings for the rest of the season. He'll also pay a fine and receive sensitivity training. Today, the music world is mourning the loss of rock and roll legend and legendary guitarist Eddie Van Halen. He passed away after a long fight with cancer. Van Halen was hailed as one of the greatest guitarists of all time. His signature two-handed tapping technique is known all over the world. He released over a dozen albums over 4 decades, and he eventually acquired his own guitar line based on the instrument he designed and built himself. Eddie Van Halen was 65 years old. A new look at the COVID vaccine and how many people must get vaccinated for it to have any real impact. Plus, the road to the World Series goes through a longtime rival. The Padres about to face off against the Dodgers in the first game of a 5-game playoff series. Who is starting on the mound tonight?
I understand, as an African-American physician, I understand some of the mistrust and the distrust.
But we can, come into this flu season with the assurance that it is a good decision.
The CDC and American Medical Association are working with the Ad Council to educate people about the flu vaccine, particularly in communities of color. CDC data shows not enough people get the flu shot, and people die unnecessarily, and unvaccinated African Americans have twice the hospitalization rate due to the flu.
And when we consider the prevalence of things like diabetes, other heart and lung diseases, asthma, and other conditions that can get exacerbated in the presence of the flu, it's particularly protective for people with those conditions.
Now, there's more than 50 years of data on the safety of the flu vaccine. There is the potential now for a twindemic.
And so we are, again, by taking care of our own health, we are saying that we care about our family members and our community members, and we are taking care of their health as well.
The CDC anticipates delivering nearly 200 million flu vaccine doses. CVS and Walgreens say they plan to give as much as